right, welcome in everybody to my podcast, the Dolphins Country Podcast. I'm finally starting one after a while, and we got our first Dolphins football game today since January. Thank God, Miami Dolphins football, just football really in general, is back on our TV screens. It's been a long off season, a crazy off season, but we got some Tua. We got a little bit of the starters playing today. Our whole defense mostly played that first sequence, at least that first drive. So we'll get into a little bit of that today. Not a ton to really make of preseason games in general because it's generally pretty vanilla. You're not doing anything crazy. You're kind of just it's hard to like look bad in preseason really. So we'll talk about the first drive from Tua today. He was 5 of 6. I mean, like I said, it's not nothing crazy. It was a lot of checkdowns. There's a lot of just get the ball out of your hands. The goal of preseason is just to get out of here, relatively healthy, and we were able to pretty much do that. Outside of Elijah Campbell, I think had his knee looked at, and then Alexander Madison got thrown on his head. I hope that's not a serious injury. But outside of that, we were able to get out of here relatively healthy. But yeah, so the first drive from Tua, he looks pretty good. He looked pretty sharp, 5 of 6. Had the one incompletion over the middle of the field, but he converted a bunch of third downs once again. Converted a 4th and 3 on a nice rip. He ripped an out route to Malik Washington. Had three of his completions were to Malik Washington. I think Malik Washington, not to overreact to one preseason game as everyone likes to do, but Malik Washington year 2, now rocking the single digit number. This could be. I mean, he'll be more of a focal point. He just will. There's no doubt about that. Now you lose Jonnu. Just by default, someone has to step up and get those catches. Malik Washington had come on pretty strong at the end of last year as a nice little yak player, and he looked pretty damn good today. With the ball in his hands. He just doesn't go down. Like it's tough to bring the guy down. Both Washingtons looked really good today. I mean, Tua had a nice 3rd and 4 completion to Taj Washington and empty down there in the red zone to get it set up 1st and goal. I thought Taj Washington looked really shifty today. He had some nice moves in the open field. So yeah, I mean, as far as receivers go, I think there's 4 locks at this current moment. We obviously got Tyreek, we got Waddle, we got Malik, and then we got NWI, Nick Westbrook-Ikine. So those 4 guys are for sure making it. There probably will be a battle for if you keep 5 receivers, which normally teams keep 5 receivers. I would assume we will. And then you're probably looking at Taj Washington or D. Eskridge, one of those guys possibly for the 5th receiver. And then, you could obviously make a case for some of the undrafted guys too. Got Anthony Armstrong, AJ Henning, Theo Weiss, guys like that. But I mean, I would assume it's between Taj Washington and D. Eskridge for the 5th, if we keep 5, which you never know. Maybe we keep 4. So yeah, I thought the Washingtons looked really good. NWI had a nice 34-yard catch and run on a Zach Wilson moth throw in the middle of the field. And NWI, he's a yak guy. But he's not like a guy who can make people miss. Like he's more of a vertical receiving threat down the sideline. But in this offense, everyone's got to eat in the middle of the field. And NWI did just that in the first sequence. I mean, I think it was the first drive with Zach, where Zach came in and just ripped one to Westbrook-Ikine and got us set up down there across midfield. So yeah, I mean, he looked good. I thought the receivers in general looked pretty good. At least the guys that we envisioned will make the team. I thought those guys looked really good. And then as far as running backs go, A-Chain played the first drive, and of course, just the guy looks like he's playing in 2x speed. Like I know he's not sped up, but Devon A-Chain just looks like he's sped up every time he runs the ball. He had a nice cutback for like a 12-yard explosive run on the very first drive of the game. I thought the offense generally they moved the ball. They had, of course, the first play of the game. We had the illegal formation. That's a Dolphin special under McDaniel, just to get the illegal formation out of the way. So, and apparently they're calling that more now. So that's unfortunate for us. But after that, 1st and 15, we were able to kind of bounce back and just kind of ho-hum, just kind of march down the field up until, of course, the short yardage stuff where we got a 2nd and goal at the 1. And then, ran it up the middle for nothing. 3rd and goal at the 1, ran it up the middle for nothing. 4th and goal at the 1, got stuffed. Jalen Wright got stuffed for like a 3-yard loss. I'm not totally sure if it was Jonas Savaianaya or Pat Paul, but something on the left side of the offensive line went, haywire. And, it was a free, unblocked, defender that just came and blew that play up. So, but outside of that, and that's just short yardage stuff that the Dolphins are going to try in preseason because they're like, hey, we were so bad short yardage offense last year. Let's just see if we can run them between the numbers and get a yard. They weren't able to, but it's preseason, whatever. Might as well get that out of the way now. But yeah, I thought overall A-Chain is obviously really, A-Chain's, he's got nothing to prove here, and you just play one drive in preseason, get his feet wet. Jalen Wright had some moments. He had a 7-yard touchdown, I think on the second drive, or not the second drive. Second drive was Madison touchdown. But Jalen Wright looked good. He had a lot of carries. It was up and down. But I think Madison played deep into the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, he got injured. He got thrown to the ground. Hopefully he's fine and that's not a concussion or something worse. But the guy, Ollie Gordon is the guy to talk about here as far as running backs go. Man, finally we saw some Ollie Gordon late in that third quarter. And man, it just feels like, again, not to overreact to one preseason game, but it just feels like this guy is the perfect complement to Devon Achane. Like, he's a guy that we don't really have. We didn't have. A guy that's just like a north-south bruising back. Again, you can use him down in short yardage, but that's mostly a blocking issue thing with the Dolphins short yardage stuff. But a guy that will just fall forward. Mostly he's not going to dance around. He's not fast. So he's a stark difference to every running back we've had in the last few years. He did not run a very fast 40 time, but nonetheless he's kind of shifty, and it's hard to bring the guy down. He's huge. He's 6'2". He's a huge back, and he actually had a nice catch late in the game as Quinn Ewers threaded the needle on 4th and 5 to him. He's kind of just backed into a catch and then spun away. And the guy's uber talented, Ollie Gordon, that is. And it just feels like a nice balance to a Devon Achane. And again, if Jalen Wright is like not the year 2 breakout star this year, is it possible that Ollie Gordon can play himself into a role where he has a serious role on the team late in the year? It wouldn't shock me. But again, this is just one preseason game, so let's slow down. It's a 7th rounder, so we gotta slow down a little bit here. But I thought he looked really good. Zach Wilson was feast or famine. I enjoy watching Zach Wilson play. It's most of our backups aren't particularly good. Whenever Tua gets hurt, our seasons generally are over. Possibly that could be the case again this year because Zach, there's some stuff there where it's like okay. But as far as backups go, he's one of the more enjoyable ones. Like I thought he's fun to watch. He came in immediately. He's kind of slipping and sliding. He gets a 7-yard scamper run here and there. He's finding guys over the middle of the field. He beat an all-out 3rd and 11 blitz. He just lofted it up there. It was a good ball. Taj Washington made a nice play and after the catch for like a 30-yard gain. Zach Wilson had some moments now. He was pretty solid. I thought he had a nice throw, like I said, to NWI on the first drive from Zach. He obviously he short-armed the ball at the end zone. He could have been a walk-in touchdown. And then he took a few sacks, which is like get the ball in your hands type of thing. But that's you can't. The bar that Dolphins fans I feel like mostly expect with backup quarterbacks is like to not miss a beat. When Tua goes down, it's like we expect our backups to just like pick up the offense like it's nothing. Not everyone can get the ball out as quick as Tua. But as far as backups go, I think Zach is he's fun. He's fun. He took some sacks, nearly threw a pick 6 to end the half where he got away with one. But I thought he made some nice plays. That's really all I'm looking for. I'm just looking for some flash, some sizzle. Because I'm just hoping that Tua doesn't get hurt. If he does, then of course we know what the season's going to be. We don't have to pretend and we don't have to sugarcoat. But Zach's a fun watch. I think he's a fun watch. He's a little slippery in the pocket. He can move a little bit, which we didn't get from Teddy Bridgewater. We didn't get from Tyler Huntley. Really, we didn't get much. Tyler Huntley's not like a great runner. He had a few nice plays, but he's not like a great runner. Zach's athletic. Zach's a sneaky athletic kid. Skyler, even same thing. Like Skyler can move, but he never really wanted to. Like he actually was an athletic guy in high school, in college at Kansas State, but we never really saw that, at least in Miami. So now you get Zach Wilson, and I think he's fun. How good is he? I don't know, but it's a backup. So it was most Dolphins fans, including myself, by the way. I wanted Mac Jones in free agency. Feel like that's a perfect guy for the offense. Backed up to it in college. Why not do it in the NFL? But I think Zach's just objectively just a more fun watch. So I didn't have any problem with it. Like I said, took some sacks, nearly threw a pick 6, but that's fine. Quinn Ewers struggled for sure. Game looked a little fast. I don't think anyone really helped out Quinn Ewers today, as far as like the 3rd stringers and the 4th stringers are concerned. Jackson Carman, Jermaine Ifedi, those guys were, they came in and it wasn't great. It wasn't great to watch offensively. There was a strip sack like immediately on Ewers. Nothing was really going right from that perspective. But again, it's the 3rd and 4th stringers. Can't really make too much of it. Like I said, I don't think Ewers helped himself out, but I don't think anyone else really helped him out either. He made some nice throws. I think Anthony Armstrong had one go directly through his hands. It was a good throw over the middle of the field from Quinn, and that was a drop. I think AJ Henning did pull in one nice catch, but then he also had one go off his hands. The game looked a little fast for Quinn, as one could expect for a rookie quarterback in his first minutes in the NFL, first couple series in the NFL. But overall, I thought he had some nice moments. The 4th and 5 conversion with a minute left at your own 30-something is just stones. I mean, that was a tight window to Ollie Gordon, not a receiving back by any means, but he threaded that thing in there. Two Bears were sitting right there, could have easily made a play on the ball, and Ewers just kind of ripped that thing in there. So there was some flashes. He went 5 of 18. I'm not gonna sit here and act like he was anything special. He definitely struggled, no doubt about it. But I don't think anyone really helped him out either. So as far as the offensive line is concerned, I thought Big Jonah Savaianaya had some nice moments. Had a nice stunt pickup, I think, early in the game. Had some nice combo blocks with Pat Paul. Like I said, I don't know whose fault it was really. I'd have to go back and watch it. As far as down there at the goal line, when we were trying to run it in 3 straight times, and then on 4th and goal, it just got blown up. Something happened on the left side of the offensive line. I don't know if it was Pat Paul. I don't know if it was Savaianaya. Water under the bridge at this point. I don't really care. But I thought Savaianaya looked pretty nice. And again, I have to go back and watch it. You don't really know until you have to go back and watch the all 22. But I saw from what I saw, he had some moments, which is cool. So, but defensively, hello, Willie Gay introduces himself to the team, the newest Dolphin, picked him up from the Saints, and he just immediately, second play of the game, comes in and puts a nice move on the running back and combines to get the sack with Big Benito Jones on Tyson Bagent. And I went to training camp a couple weeks ago, and he looked really good there. I was like, wow, Willie Gay's making like every play. You don't really know what to make at training camp, especially because I went when there was no pads on, so it's not really football. But he was like everywhere. He was making every play. So nonetheless, it was nice to see Willie Gay. I'm like, is he a dude? Like, is he a guy? I mean, certainly possible. I thought from my takeaways from this game was I think the D line depth is better than what I thought coming in, or at least they played better than what I thought. I don't know if they actually are better, but hey, Kenneth Grant, he flashed some stuff, man. I mean, this is our first round pick, Kenneth Grant. He was, I think, the first play of the game, maybe the second play of the game. He just bull rushed a guy like 10 yards back. Now, and again, if it wasn't for Tyson Bagent taking like a 10-step drop, he probably would have just been in the lap of the quarterback. So Kenneth Grant, and he had a sick play running down a screen like he did in college. He ran down a screen again. So, and he batted down a pass. I mean, the guy is just a freak in nature. But like I said, I have to go back and really watch it. The trench play, you have to go back and watch because you don't really know. You can see some flash plays on tape or on watching it live. But I mean, you have to go back and watch it to see really how dominant he was or how whatever it was. But I thought he looked, he flashed from what I saw. And then Matt Dickerson, Jordan Phillips, those guys looked really good. I was like, whoa. Like, I mean, obviously Jordan Phillips is making the team. He was our 3rd or 4th round pick. So he'll be on the team. But like Matt Dickerson, whoa. he had some plays. I was like, oh my gosh. Like this is the D-line depth is not bad. It's not bad. I mean, last year it was Calais Campbell and Deshaun Hand. We lose both of those guys. You extend Sealer and you draft Kenneth Grant round 1, but you're hoping that the depth behind those guys, the rotation pieces are good because, ever since Wilkins left, that's been like the whole, it's like, okay, well, and then you lose Calais Campbell, you lose Deshaun Hand. Those guys were good for us last year. So, you're hoping that this D-line depth is good, certainly. But I thought the pass rushers were really good too. It was good to see Chop Robinson out there. It was good to see Bradley Chubb out there for the first time in over a year. Really nice to see him out there. And Grayson Murphy might be a dude. I don't know. Could be another Sam McGuavin thing, but I mean, he might be a dude. I thought he looked really good. Derek McClendon made some plays. I mean, they're making those two guys, Grayson Murphy and Derek McClendon, are at least making an early case for possibly getting onto the roster. I don't know if they will because I still think it's Quentin Bell's. I mean, he's not a lock, but I still think it's his spot to lose at this point in time. But those guys look pretty good. I mean, I think Grayson Murphy has some. I kind of liked him at UCLA, and he made some. I mean, he on a starting left tackle for the Bears on Braxton Jones, he made him literally couldn't even touch him. Like it was like one of those things where he literally just went right by him. So he, that's a starter for the Bears. So the pass rushers are not bad, and those guys aren't even like worst case scenario. We see those guys because as far as last year, everyone got hurt with Bradley Chubb getting hurt, missing the whole year. Obviously, Jalen Phillips getting hurt in week 3 or week 4 against Tennessee, missing the whole year. Obviously, you lose Van Ginkel, but we just had no pass rushers last year besides like Chop Robinson. So no one could really get to the quarterback like that consistently, at least. This year, if everyone stays healthy, you get Chop Robinson, you get Bradley Chubb, you get Jalen Phillips. You shouldn't have to even worry about the pass rush depth, really. But then again, it's the Dolphins, so you never really know because especially, Chubb and Phillips, respectively, have had injury concerns. So you can't just assume they're going to play 17 games, obviously. So if those guys are to go down, you're hoping that these backup pass rushers are more than adequate enough to fill in those roles on spot downs. But that's worst case scenario. But I like Quentin Bell. And now, obviously, you lose Agba. He walked and went to Jacksonville. But maybe these guys I mean, this is what preseason is for. You show out and maybe make a roster spot, and then you never know what happens in front of you. Guys get injured, and you make advantage of your time. So yeah, I thought those guys looked really good. The pass rusher was nice. We were getting after Bajent, we were getting after Keenum for the most part, and then the linebackers, like I already mentioned, Willie Gay, he just introduced himself to the game right away. T. Dot had a nice third down tackle on the first series of the game. Jordan Brooks had the first play of the game. He broke up a pass intended for, I think it was Colson Loveland. So the first play of the game for the Bears, they're going to their first round rookie tight end. And Jordan Brooks was just sitting right on it. So the linebackers, I think I only saw them for one, or maybe did they come out for the second drive? I think they only played one drive. The starters, really, I think only played one drive, maybe two. Some of them might have been out there for the second drive. But I know I only saw Chop and Chubb out there for the first drive. And then Brooks and T-Dot, both of them made plays on the first. Tyrell Dotson and Jordan Brooks, both of those linebackers made plays on the first series of the game. So it was good to see those guys make some nice plays. Like I said, Willie Gay already had the second down sack. So the linebackers were nice, at least the guys that we assume are going to be starting this year. The secondary was fine. Ethan Bonner obviously was the one who forced the pick on from Patrick McMorris. He obviously got the pick, but Ethan Bonner made the play. That was cool. He obviously got the pass break up. Storm Duck had a nice moment down there in the red zone where he had a nice tackle that prevented a touchdown. Again, you don't really know. I got to watch all 22 because most of the time the corners in the secondary aren't even in the frame, so you don't really know. And they tested Jack Jones deep one time. He got the pick, didn't count. So, but he's always in the right play. He's always in the right position. To make a play on the ball, I should say. Yeah, like I said, didn't count, but nonetheless, we had 10 penalties, 68 yards. You want to clean that up, obviously. Had a lot of defensive penalties, so like to get that down a little bit, get that number down a little bit. And we had 6 sacks for a loss of 43 yards. Mostly those were all Zach Wilson taking a lot of sacks, and obviously Quinn. Quinn obviously had a strip sack. He took some sacks. He got sacked on 4th down at the end of the game. Can't get sacked on 4th down, obviously. It's a no-brainer. But yeah, but those again, these are backup quarterbacks, so you can't really get too upset about that in my book. And then how about Jason Sanders, by the way? He just doesn't miss field goals anymore. He just keeps drilling field goals. Casually hit a 56-yarder today like it was nothing. I mean, his thing prior to last year was like, ooh, Jason Sanders outside of 50 yards. It's like, I'm freaking out watching it on television. I'm like, I don't think this is going in at all. Now when he kicks from 50, when he kicks from anywhere, I'm like, okay, well, it's Jason Sanders. It's going to go in. No, I'm just assuming it's going to go in. The guy hasn't missed him like 30 kicks. It's silly. Now he'll always have like a random miss extra point, which is like really crucial for some reason. But he's starting to kind of dial in from these 50+ yard field goals. I mean, that 56-yarder was clear by like a long, like it would have been good from 60. So it's nice to see Jay Sand knock in field goals. But like I said, I can't make much of this preseason game. 24-24 tie. They don't even play overtimes in preseason. So then I'm not even complaining about that because I don't want any more injuries. Obviously, we've already had too many corners go down in an already thin corner room with Artie Burns missing the whole year, and now unfortunately Darth Cater missing the whole year. Who even knows who's starting at corner? Because we played Bonner and Jack Jones and Storm Duck into the second quarter. So if those guys are starters, you're not playing them. I don't think anyone's a lock starter at corner right now. Like maybe besides Mike Hilton, who's obviously gonna be our slot corner for the year now that Cater's done for the season. But yeah, all these other young guys, all these other unproven guys, the whole entire corner room pretty much is unproven. Not that they're not good. We don't know if they're good or not because they really haven't proven anything. I mean, has anyone heard of Cam? Anyone's not a Dolphins fan? Has anyone heard of Cam Smith and Storm Duck and Ethan Bonner and Jack Jones? Probably not. It's because those guys haven't really had the time to showcase themselves on the field and know if we don't even know if they're good players or not. I mean, this is now Cam Smith's 3rd season or 4th. I think it's his 4th, 3rd or 4th season. No, it's his 3rd season. But nonetheless, we don't know if he's good or not. We have no idea. They drafted him in round 2, so obviously they like him a lot, but we don't know. Ethan Bonner, we don't know if he's good or not. Storm Duck, I like Storm Duck. He had some nice plays last year, but we don't know if he's good. We'll find out this year. But we get another preseason game 6 days from now in Motown in Detroit, the Motor City. Hopefully we'll see maybe 2 series from Tua. Usually that's how McDaniel does it. He ramps it up, each week. Tua usually doesn't play the first preseason game. They usually always sit him the first game of the preseason, and they play him maybe a drive or two in week 2, and then the final week 3, they usually play him like 3 series, maybe a whole quarter, possibly. So they usually, ramp up as we get closer to the season. But this, I think Tua just like, hey, I want to get my feet wet. I want to play a drive. And thankfully it wasn't a 3-and-out. I'm thankful we got a whole drive of Tua. Would have been nice to obviously score a touchdown there at the 1 yard line. We had 3 chances too, but it is what it is. So hopefully we'll see, more guys in Detroit, but hopefully we see no guys get injured, and we'll see what happens with the Madison injury. Hopefully he's okay. Elijah Campbell, they were looking at his knee. Hopefully he's okay. You just got to get out of these games healthy. I don't even care about the results. Like, I really don't care about the results, the penalties or whatever, the sacks, taking the sacks, whatever. I don't care. I just care about, the guys who are important and making the team, even the guys who are fighting to make the team. Just, I don't want to see those guys get injured. It's so tough. We had that happen, I think, last year or 2 years ago, where like Isaiah Johnson, it was a corner who was going to make the roster and then he got hurt. It's like, oh, it just sucks. Like, it's like they're playing well. They had nice training camp and then they get hurt. I hope that doesn't happen for anyone, obviously. I hope no one gets hurt. But I mean, specifically the guys who are going to be on the team and possibly making an impact. It's already happened now twice in our corner room. So you want to really avoid any more injuries if you can. But yeah, that's it for the week 1 preseason. I'm just glad we have football back, really. I mean, I'm thankful that we have football back on our television screens. I couldn't do another month without it. So I'm really excited, really happy. The Dolphins are going to drive my Sundays up a wall for the next 18, 19 weeks, as they always do. But I'm just glad that it's back. I mean, I was fiending for some football. So yeah, I'll hopefully going to drop one of these each week, maybe a couple episodes a week. I mean, if there's any like breaking news, obviously we got the Sealer extension done. I don't think any other extensions coming from now until the season starts. So we'll see. As far as like August goes, it's pretty dry. I mean, I'm going to see who's going to make the roster. I'll probably come out with a roster prediction. But we'll see. I mean, this is the preseason. That's what the preseason is for. You don't know that until, you play the games. And training camp's obviously still going on. Joint practices are still going on. So we'll do that with Detroit. Hopefully no more fighting each other on the field. I'm fine with fighting the other team, but obviously you don't want to fight each other. That's a little bit, don't want to stay in the news that way. But overall, good week 1 preseason. I thought there was some more ups than downs. I mean, I don't care about the tie score, really. Everyone's going for it late in the game. It doesn't really matter. I thought the guys who I wanted to see looked pretty good. So yeah, that's it for this first episode. We will see you guys back here next week after we play in Detroit. We play on Saturday, so it's 6 days away. We don't have to even wait a full week. So thank God. But yeah, that's it for now, and we'll see you guys next time.